So I want to welcome all of you. We are here again this Saturday, and it's a very special Saturday for me because we are going to be discussing something very important, which I think each and every person should be educated on. And I have to give special thanks to Dr. Yash and Holy Family Hospital because their team agreed to actually come and talk to us, and train us on this particular training. So, just to give you a brief introduction about our guests today. So, like you all know, we will be talking about awareness and training on sudden cardiac arrest. The project iCARE is a non-profit initiative by Holy Family Hospital, and it is dedicated into creating awareness and training of lay people on what is a sudden cardiac arrest and how to save a person experiencing it. So we have Miss Sumaiya Raghavan here, who's the operations head. Hi, Sumaiya. And we have Mr. Anand Shrivastav, our project director for iCare.
Hello.
They are qualified trainers on first aid, heart saving, and CPR or cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and have received certification from the American Heart Association. They have trained over 20,000 people, which include general public, police personnel, railway, and firefighters on cardiac arrest resuscitation. This training will include recognizing cardiac arrest, learning how to perform a cardio resuscitation, and also using the AED or the shock machine. We will talk a little more about this going forward. All the trainings that they provide are completely free of cost because their only motive is to spread awareness and save lives. So I welcome my guests to the platform. I hand it over to you. Before we begin, I really want to tell you what this means for me because I remember last year, this month, we were on a trek to Himkund Sahib, which is pretty high, and we were a team of five doctors. However, there was a family walking behind us, out of which one elderly gentleman actually collapsed. You know, and since their family didn't know what to do, we had no choice but actually take him down the chopper, but he couldn't survive it, you know. And I cannot stress enough how important this training is. And I thank you so much for you all to be here today. Over to
No
you,
problem.
Sumaya and Anand.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hema, and thank you, Dr. Yash, for joining us. So, my name is Sumaiya. I have with me Anand Shrivastava. We are from iCARE Holy Family Hospital, Bandra, West Mumbai. So, iCARE, Cardiac Arrest Resuscitation for Everyone. What is this project for? This project started in 2017 with a small team, the doctors guiding us, because the doctors, Dr. Brian Pinto, Dr. Yash Lokhandwala, and Dr. Armida Fernandez from this hospital started this project because they lost their very good friend, Dr. Rakesh Sinha. Many of you all would have heard about this doctor, very good doctor, marathon runner, and he was jogging up Pali Hill one morning, which is just 2-3 minutes away from our hospital, and he collapsed. He had had a sudden cardiac arrest. But unfortunately, in our country, nobody knows how to help somebody if they've suffered a sudden cardiac arrest. So what people did was they gave him water to drink, and they checked him and they just rushed him to our hospital. By the time they brought him to our hospital, he was declared dead. So had anybody known how to help him, he would have been between us today. So this is the reason why the doctors started this project, so that we can train lay people who are not from the medical background how to help somebody if they've suffered a sudden cardiac arrest. So as Dr. Hema said, this project we have trained from 2017 till today 20,000 people, which people from all different fields of life, firefighters, police station, police personnel, corporates, college students, and here we are today to help you all also to understand, first of all, what is a cardiac arrest and how to help a person suffering it. So we were doing this session initially, going there personally and doing hands-on training sessions. But due to the lockdown, this is not possible. So now we have started doing webinars. So the good thing in this is, as we are here today live for everybody across the country and other places too. So we're going to start off first of all this session by understanding what is a heart attack and what is a sudden cardiac arrest. So the first thing we're going to know is both of these things are two different things. A heart attack is separate, a cardiac arrest is a separate situation. So let's coming to a heart attack. What is a heart attack? When the arteries to the heart get blocked. They get blocked due to various reasons: high cholesterol, long time diabetes, smoking habits, drinking habits, fatty food intake. And because the arteries to the heart get blocked, blood doesn't flow freely to the heart. So what are the symptoms in a heart attack? Most of you all would have heard about it, or had some kind of experience in this. So in a heart attack, the person gets chest pain, jaw pain, shoulder pain, left arm pain. Person says, I'm not feeling well. He feels nausea, weakness, and he sits down. He says, please मुझे hospital लेके जाइए. तो आप ऐसे इंसान को आप गाड़ी रिक्शा टैक्सी में बिठा के आप हॉस्पिटल लेके जाते हो. ये हार्ट अटैक सिचुएशन है. पर्सन इज टेलिंग यू ही इज नॉट फीलिंग वेल, ही इज रिस्पॉन्डिंग. This is a heart attack. What is a cardiac arrest? It is totally different. In a cardiac arrest, a heart that pumps like this, the heart just stops. The heart stops or it fibrillates like this. So because of this, whatever the person is doing, if he's in the kitchen, he's cooking, he's in his college, he's on a street, he's in a mall, he's on a beach, whatever the person is doing, the person just collapses. The heart has stopped, person has collapsed. What is the function of the heart? It pumps blood to the various parts of the body. The blood also goes to the brain. If the blood doesn't reach the brain in 3 minutes, this person's brain goes into a damaged condition and he goes into a coma. I'm sure all of you all would have heard about coma. So the blood doesn't reach the brain in 3 minutes, the person goes into a coma, and in 10 minutes person is gone. If this person collapses in front of you, who's going to reach this person in 3 minutes? 3 मिनट में आप हॉस्पिटल पहुंचेंगे? There's no way, चांस ही नहीं है. क्या 3 मिनट में एम्बुलेंस आपके पास आएगा? There is no way. या डॉक्टर आएगा मदद के लिए? चांस ही नहीं. तो कौन मदद करेगा इसकी? आप ही करोगे. लेकिन आप कब करोगे? जब आपको आता है क्या करने के लिए. नहीं आता है तो आप हॉस्पिटल ले जाओगे. So here we are going to tell you how to help a person if they've collapsed in front of you. Now, I'm saying a person has collapsed in front of you, but everybody who collapses, it doesn't necessarily collapse due to a sudden cardiac arrest. There are so many reasons of collapse. A person has not had breakfast in the morning, his sugar level drops, hypoglycemia, he collapses. A person has fits, mirgi suna hai aapne, uske wajah se collapse. Overdose of medication, reason for collapse. Or even a drunken person collapses. So many reasons of collapse. So first of all, we are going to teach you how to recognize a sudden cardiac arrest. Because आपने पहचान लिया तो आप मदद करोगे, और अगर cardiac arrest नहीं है तो आप hospital ले जाओगे. So the first thing we are going to teach you is going to how to recognize a sudden cardiac arrest. Secondly, we are going to teach you how to do CPR. Many of you all would have seen it in movies या कभी पढ़ा होगा. So we're going to teach you कैसे करना है, क्या करना है exactly. And the third thing we're going to teach you today is how to use this machine. This is called an AED, automated external defibrillator. It's basically a machine that gives a shock to the stopped heart so that it starts pumping again. पिक्चर में आपने शायद देखा होगा, डॉक्टर लेके जाता है ऑपरेशन थिएटर में, ही गिव्स अ शॉक लाइक दिस, झटका आता है एंड ही सेज अभी ठीक हो गया. ये मशीन वही काम करती है, लेकिन हॉस्पिटल में बड़ी मशीन है. दिस इज अ स्मॉल पोर्टेबल मशीन. विद आवर प्रोजेक्ट वी आर ट्राइंग टू पुट इट इन एवरी 500 meters so that people can go ahead and use this in necessary. So this is an automated machine because जैसे आप इसको on करते हो, it tells you what to do step by step. So it's not for doctor use, it's for lay people to use. So we're going to teach you how to use this machine also. That's our third point. So we're going to go through some presentation. छोटा सा presentation है, video दिखाएंगे आपको समझाने के लिए. And as you all can see, there's a chat box there. Please keep posting your questions there as and when through the session. Dr. Hema will read out all the questions to us at the end of the session, and then we'll be answering it all. So thank you very much for attending this, and let's start with it, Anand. So I've just put on the presentation.
Sure. Thank you, Sumaiya. Thank you, Dr. Hema. Hi, Dr. Yash. How are you? Doctor, would you be able to type answers out? I was wondering, I don't know, you are not going to talk, but if you can type it out, that'll be good too. Because Akhil has just asked a question. Oh, for all the people who are going to ask questions, don't worry about answering your question. We're going to answer all the questions, later on. So keep the questions coming, okay? All right, so let's begin. for all the people present here, it looks like a good small family. I'm really happy about that. You know, just a teacher कैसे individual attention दे सकता है, we can give them individual attention to everybody. Let's imagine a scenario. I'm going to give you a scenario you imagine, और आपका observation जो होगा वो आप हमारे observation के साथ match कर लीजिएगा, ठीक है? Imagine if you're walking down the road, okay, and you happen to see a person collapse right in front of you, या फिर 2-3 मिनट पहले ही उसका collapse हुआ है. Do you think in your observation लोग जल्दी से rush करते हैं, जल्दी से जाके उसकी मदद करते हैं, उसको touch करते हैं, क्या उसको hospital ले जाने की कोशिश करते हैं? आपका observation क्या कहता है? क्योंकि हमारे observation के हिसाब से ज़्यादा लोग ये नहीं करते हैं. Okay, people generally, you know, they just want to walk away. वो ऐसा नहीं है कि उनमें दिल नहीं है, वो ये नहीं चाहते कि वो हेल्प ना करें, लेकिन वो नहीं करते हैं. वो सोचते हैं कोई ना कोई तो हेल्प कर देगा, लेकिन वो नहीं करेंगे. इसका क्या कारण है? इसके 2-3 प्राइमरी कारण, हम लोग प्राइमरी रीजंस उनको बोलते हैं. सुमैया, कैन वी हैव द स्क्रीन फॉर दैट?
Yeah, I don't know, I just seem to have lost it. One moment.
तो उसका प्राइमरी रीजन ये है कि लोगों को पुलिस से डर लगता है. लोगों को ये लगता है कि अगर हमने उस विक्टिम को टच किया और कहीं उल्टा सीधा हो गया तो ऐसा ना हो केस हम पर ही बन जाए. दिस इज वन ऑफ द मेजर रीजंस व्हाई पीपल डोंट वांट टू हेल्प व्हेन दे कैन विजुअली सी दैट द पर्सन डज रिक्वायर हेल्प. तो इसके बारे में मैं आपको एक चीज बता देता हूँ. देखिए, 2016 में एक नया लॉ निकला है जिसको कहते हैं द गुड समैरिटन लॉ. Right now, this law states that if you're there helping a person who's in need, and if the cops arrive, they're not supposed to be asking you for your identification. ठीक है, आपसे आपका आइडेंटिफिकेशन नहीं पूछ सकते. आप उनको तब बोलिए, देखिए मुझे लग रहा था कि इन इंसान को कोई ज़रूरत थी तो मैं इनकी हेल्प कर रहा था, आगे आप संभालिए. And further, a step further to that, if you want to take that person to the hospital, you know what the hospital does usually, they want you to write down your information in a form, right? They give you a form to write down your information. Now यहाँ पर भी ये law आपको protect करता है as a citizen. You just have to tell the hospital that you happen to find this person on the street and then you thought that he needed help, so you brought him to the hospital. Now you please take care. Okay, then you can walk away from there, right? So remember the law. The second reason why people don't help each other is because they don't know what to do, right? How will you help a person when you don't even know how you're going to help that person, right? You need to understand what's happening. You need to recognize what's happening. तो इसके बारे में भी हम आपको बताएंगे specifically for sudden cardiac arrest. And the third reason is COVID-19, right? जो आजकल आप देख रहे हैं. अब उसकी वजह से क्या होता है कि लोग सोचते हैं अगर हमने किसी को टच किया और हमने ही वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर लिया तो प्रॉब्लम हमको भी हो सकती है, इसलिए दे जनरली अवॉइड. बट वी गोना टेल यू अबाउट दैट एज वेल. ओके, ऑलराइट, सो मैं व्हाट नेक्स्ट?
Yeah, can you see the screen?
Yeah. All right. So now if you can see the screen, everybody, you should be able to see a person just sitting there in a sitting position. Apparently he's lifeless and there are other people. Okay. ये सब उनको देख रहे हैं लेकिन कोई मदद नहीं कर रहा है. क्यों मदद नहीं कर रहे हैं ये सब? वही 2-3 कारण जो मैंने आपको बताया कि उनको पुलिस से डर लगता है और उनको पता ही नहीं है कि करना क्या है. ओके, आजकल तो लोग फोटोग्राफ्स खींचते हैं, वीडियोस बनाते हैं, सोशल मीडिया पे अपलोड करते हैं, बट दे डोंट रियली वांट टू हेल्प, राइट? Now this is a photograph that's not been taken from Google, guys. This is an actual photograph taken by somebody who's known to us personally. Now remember this, every single minute, अगर ये sudden cardiac arrest का case हुआ तो every single minute delay in initiating, trying to help that person increases the chances of this person by 10%, which means he's dying by 10% एक मिनट में. तो इन अ सडन कार्डियक अरेस्ट सिचुएशन आप सोचिए, अगर आपने 10 मिनट लगा दिए सोचने में कि इसकी हेल्प करूं कि नहीं करूं, दिस पर्सन इज बाय द टाइम गॉन. सो इन अ कार्डियक अरेस्ट सिचुएशन you cannot afford to think. You need to take action. You need to help right there, right that time. Okay. Also understand one thing why we are here, with you today. अगर सडन कार्डियक अरेस्ट में डॉक्टर फटाफट आ पाते विक्टिम के पास तो हमको आपके सामने आने की कोई जरूरत ही नहीं थी. यहाँ पे विक्टिम के पास टाइम नहीं होता है, 3 मिनट में ब्रेन कोलैप्स होता है और 10 मिनट में आदमी ही नहीं रहता है. That's the reason we want you to know how to help. The doctor is gonna come way later. Okay, unfortunately you cannot even pick the person up and take him to the hospital in this case, specifically a sudden cardiac arrest case. That's the reason why we are here with you today. Okay, all right, so my next. Okay, you should be able to see 3 people ये स्क्रीन में, और उनके नाम भी दिख रहे हैं, इंद्र कुमार, रीमा लागू एंड डॉक्टर अब्दुल कलाम साहब. आपने इनको रिकग्नाइज भी कर लिया होगा. इंद्र कुमार और रीमा लागू जी ये दोनों एक्टर्स थे, और डॉक्टर कलाम साहब हमारे फॉर्मर प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ द कंट्री थे. ठीक है, अनफॉर्चुनेटली ये तीनों ही हमारे बीच में नहीं है. दीज पीपल आर नॉट लाइव टुडे बिकॉज ऑल द 3 सफर्ड सडन कार्डियक अरेस्ट. अनफॉर्चुनेटली उस समय कोई ऐसा था नहीं उनके आसपास जिनको पता होता कि किस तरह से हेल्प की जाती है. अदरवाइज दीज पीपल वुड हैव बीन विद अस टुडे. But the point of the slide that I'm trying to make is that I want you to notice the ages of these people. इनकी उम्र पे गौर करिए. इंद्र कुमार को देखिए, वो यंग है. रीमा लागू जी को देखिए, वो थोड़ी सी उनसे एल्डर हैं, और डॉक्टर कलाम साहब उनसे भी एल्डर हैं. The point that I'm trying to make is that sudden cardiac arrest is one thing that can happen to anyone, anytime, regardless age and regardless fitness levels. ये आप ध्यान रखिएगा, क्योंकि लोग ऐसा सोचते हैं सडन कार्डियक अरेस्ट सुनने में बहुत भयंकर बीमारी लगती है. मे बी ये उन्हीं को होती है जो 80 क्रॉस कर गए हैं, 90 क्रॉस कर गए हैं. इट्स नथिंग लाइक दैट. ओके, इट हैज नथिंग टू डू विद एज. इट हैपेंस टू चिल्ड्रन आल्सो, which and there is no age that is exempt from it from not happening. That's why everybody needs to know how to help. Okay, अब इस स्लाइड में मैं आपको एक चीज और बता देना चाहता हूँ. आज आप जो सीखने वाले हैं, द CPR, द वेरियस टेक्निक्स जिससे हम एक इंसान को बचा सकते हैं, we request you to go ahead and teach 5 other people and 10 other people, especially those people who have nothing to do with medicine. ठीक है, इसका एक बहुत सेल्फिश रीजन आपको बता देता हूँ. इसका सेल्फिश रीजन ये है कि देखिए, आज के बाद आपको तो पता है कि आपको क्या करना है. आप बचा लेंगे इंसान को अगर आपके सामने कोई इंसान ये सफर कर रहा है. लेकिन भगवान ना करे, गॉड फॉरबिड, अगर आपको हो रहा है तो आप भी चाहेंगे ना कोई आपकी जान बचाए. That's the reason it's so important that you teach 5 other people, the immediate people who you usually talk with, your friends, your family, etc. Okay, all right. Wait, am I, Sumaya, I'm not reading the chat at the moment because I'm explaining.
No, that's okay. We'll answer all the questions at the end. Dr. Hema will read out all the questions at the end.
I'm keeping a tab on it.
Yeah. Right. Let's go through the session.
Okay. Okay, here's the slide, guys. The slide is the differentiation between heart attack and cardiac arrest. Okay, now this is an important slide for you to understand. देखिए, हार्ट अटैक के बारे में आप सबने ऑलरेडी सुना हुआ है, आपको इसके बारे में काफ़ी चीज़ें पता भी हैं, तो मैं इसमें थोड़ा सा जल्दी स्किप कर लूँगा. देखिए, हार्ट अटैक क्यों होता है? हार्ट अटैक इसीलिए होता है क्योंकि आर्टरीज उस विक्टिम की ब्लॉक हो जाती है. ओके, आपने डॉक्टर्स को सुना भी होगा कई बार बोलते हुए 70% ब्लॉक है, 80%, 90% ब्लॉक है. अब ये ब्लॉकेज को प्लाक्स बोला जाता है. ये ब्लॉकेज होते होते कभी कभी इतने बढ़ जाते हैं कि 100% ब्लॉकेज हो जाता है, जिसकी वजह से ब्लड फ्लो ही नहीं होता है. अब ना, आवर हार्ट इज अ मसल, इट्स जस्ट लाइक एनी अदर मसल इन द बॉडी, राइट? Now what happens is the blood doesn't flow, then that particular area of the heart starts, kind of deteriorating, kind of dying, and that by itself is known as a heart attack, right? Now आपको इसके symptoms भी पता होंगे, आपने सुने भी होंगे, पढ़े भी होंगे, मूवीज में भी देखे होंगे. आपने सुना होगा मैसिव चेस्ट पेन, acute chest pain. आपने सुना होगा एक्सेसिव स्वेटिंग, कोल्ड स्वेट्स सुना होगा आपने लेफ्ट शोल्डर पेन सुना होगा, बैक पेन सुना होगा, आपने जॉ क्लैंपिंग सुना होगा, नोजिया सुना होगा, एंड डिफिकल्टी इन ब्रीदिंग सुना होगा. So what happens is if there is a person right in front of you and he's showing all these symptoms, तो क्या करेगा वो जहाँ है वहीं पे बैठ जाएगा, बोलेगा मुझे बहुत दर्द हो रहा है, मेरी हेल्प करो. ओके, बट डू नोट दैट ही इज स्टिल ब्रीदिंग, राइट ना. अगर ऐसा हो रहा है, अगर आप किसी इंसान को देख रहे हैं इस सिम्टम के साथ, विदाउट एनी डिले उसको हॉस्पिटल लेके जाइए. यूजुअली क्या होता है, लोग एडवाइस क्या करते हैं, आप 5 मिनट बैठिए, कुछ नहीं होगा, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. शायद ये गैस है, शायद ये इंडाइजेशन प्रॉब्लम है, क्योंकि इंडाइजेशन और गैस की जो सिम्टम्स हैं थोड़े बहुत सिमिलर ही दिखते हैं. ओके, आपको थ्रोट में भी दर्द होता है, यहाँ पर भी गैस की फीलिंग होती है, हैवीनेस फीलिंग होती है, ओके, बट यहाँ पे पल्पिटेशंस एक्सेट्रा हो रहे हैं, तो आप इनको फटाफट लेके जाइए, आप इनकी जान बचा पाएंगे। लेट्स कम टू कार्डियक अरेस्ट, जिसके बारे में हम आज आपको बता रहे हैं। देखिए, कार्डियक अरेस्ट उस रीजन से नहीं होता है जिस रीजन से हार्ट अटैक होता है। दिस इज वे वर्स, ओके। नाउ ब्लॉक्ड आर्टरी की वजह से हार्ट अटैक होता है, हार्ट अटैक की वजह से कार्डियक अरेस्ट हो सकता है, ठीक है। अब ये होता क्या है, होता ये है कि दिस इज नोन एज गोइंग इनटू some kind of malfunction, like a short circuit, electrical malfunction, okay. It's like an irregular heartbeat जो exponentially increase हो जाती है। अब हमारा heartbeat for an adult's resting heart, usual heartbeat is 60 to 100, between 60 to 100। अभी क्या होता है, ये धीरे धीरे बढ़ने लगता है, and at a certain point of time it increases to such a level that it goes as high as 360 beats per minute, which means the heart is basically in a chaotic situation like this, right? From this to like this. So this is known as fibrillation, right? Now, if it's fibrillation, which means the heart is chaotic, which means it doesn't know what to do and therefore it kind of stops, right? Now, अगर ये स्टॉप हो जाता है हार्ट, तो क्या होता है, हार्ट के सारे फंक्शंस बंद हो जाते हैं। और हार्ट का मेजर फंक्शन क्या होता है, मेजर फंक्शन ये होता है कि ब्लड सप्लाई करता है हमारे सारे ऑर्गन्स को, बॉडी के ऑर्गन्स को, करेक्ट है। नाउ ये ध्यान से सुनिएगा, हमारा एक बॉडी का ऑर्गन है ब्रेन, ठीक है। अब अगर ब्रेन में 3 मिनट तक कंटिन्यूस सप्लाई ऑफ ब्लड नहीं पहुंचता है फ्रॉम द हार्ट, तो क्या होता है, ब्रेन डैमेज कंडीशन में जाता है, ओके। गिव इट अबाउट अ फ्यू मोर सेकेंड्स और अ मिनट and the brain completely stops functioning, okay। ऐसे स्टॉपेज को कहा जाता है पॉपुलरली कोमा। कोमा सबने सुना होगा, लेकिन जनरली नहीं पता कि किस तरह से होता है, बट नाउ टुडे यू नो, okay। 3 minutes of supply, a direct supply or a continuous supply is non-existent and suddenly the brain collapses, okay। It's like going into coma, the brain gets damaged. You must have heard about nurse Aruna also from the KM hospital. She had brain damage, but she was alive for a long time. We don't want anything like this to happen to anybody, okay। And give it about few more minutes and the person himself is dead, okay। So the thing is, these 3 minutes are so important that a doctor may not be able to arrive within those 3 minutes, and you would not be able to have an ambulance rushing within 3 minutes. Neither if you think of taking the person to the hospital, you may not be able to do that either, right? Okay। नाउ इसके सिम्टम्स मैं आपको बता देता हूँ। क्या होता है, जब अगर किसी को कार्डियक अरेस्ट होता है तो वो जहाँ खड़ा है वहीं पे गिर जाता है, बिकॉज ही इज बिकम अनकॉन्शियस सडनली। व्हाई? बिकॉज द हार्ट इज स्टॉप, राइट। नाउ इफ अ पर्सन कोलैप्सेस इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू, सबसे पहले आप क्या करोगे, आप इंस्टिंक्टिवली आप उसकी ब्रेथ चेक करोगे। और आप कैसे चेक करोगे, इस तरह से चेक करोगे, यू नो, आप उंगली इसके आप नाक के नीचे रखोगे, आप चेक करोगे ब्रीदिंग हो रही है कि नहीं हो रही है, and you'll realize that time that that particular victim has stopped breathing. There is no, you're not going to feel the breath, okay। Then you might want to check the pulse, and you will realize that you'll check the pulse like this, the carotid pulse, you check like this, but you'll realize that there is no pulse either, and then you're going to go into a panic mode. You will think that time that the person is collapsed, he's unconscious, he's not breathing, he has no pulse, and therefore your assumption is going to be that the person is now gone, the person is dead. That's what you are going to think. But we are sitting here in front of you today telling you that is not how it happens, okay। The person is very much alive. Your assumption from that point on, when you see such a situation, it should be that this person is now gone into a cardiac arrest situation and he needs my help, so I'm going to help him right now. And for God's sake, don't tell this to other 4 people, the person is gone, क्योंकि ये 5 और लोगों को बोलेंगे कि the person is gone, while the fact is that's not the fact, okay। So this is way deadlier than heart attack because the person has also stopped breathing, no pulse. Now we are going to tell you 4 very simple steps that you can do as a process to help that person stay alive till the time emergency vehicle arrives or a doctor arrives or an AED arrives. What is an AED? We're going to tell you also. Okay, so listen to this very carefully. All right, Sumaiya.
Okay, so we have understood कि a heart attack or a cardiac arrest दो अलग अलग चीज है. We've understood what is a heart attack. A person is breathing. He's saying I'm not feeling well. He's getting chest pain. He's feeling uneasy. You're taking him to the hospital. This is a heart attack situation. Cardiac arrest situation हमने समझा है कि totally अलग चीज है. Person's heart stops. Person collapses. Stops breathing. So first of all, we are going to teach you, as Anand said, 4 simple steps how to help somebody who suffered a sudden cardiac arrest. But in this pandemic situation, make sure before you help somebody, see, some of you are doctors here, definitely आपको ये सारी चीज पता है, लेकिन for those who are lay people and even for the doctors, here we are talking of out of hospital collapse. ओके, सो प्लीज मेक श्योर कि हम यही मन में रखें कि आउट ऑफ हॉस्पिटल है. सो हॉस्पिटल में अगर किसी को हो जाता है तो डॉक्टर है, सब है बचाने के लिए, बट आउट ऑफ हॉस्पिटल है तो आपको क्या करना चाहिए. But in this pandemic situation, before you help somebody, make sure that your nose and mouth is properly covered with a face mask or a cloth, and the person who's collapsed, even his mouth and nose is properly covered with a face mask or cloth before you help somebody, so that you make sure there's no transmission of any infection. ये मैंडेटरी है ये सिचुएशन में. बिफोर यू हेल्प समबडी, मेक श्योर यू आर सेफ. क्लियर? सो लेट्स कम टू आवर फर्स्ट स्टेप. सो फॉर दोज हु जॉइंड इन स्लाइटली लेट, we are first of all going to teach you how to recognize a sudden cardiac arrest. Because अगर आपके सामने कोई गिर गया तो बहुत सारे कारण है गिरने के लिए. शुगर लो हो गया है, हाइपोग्लाइसेमिया, पर्सन हैज कोलैप्स्ड, मिर्गी हुआ है, फिट्स है, पर्सन हैज कोलैप्स्ड, ओवरडोज ऑफ मेडिकेशन, पर्सन हैज कोलैप्स्ड, सो मेनी रीजंस. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी आर गोइंग टू टीच यू कि अगर आपके सामने गिर गया तो हम पहचानेंगे कैसे कि सडन कार्डियक है कि नहीं. So I'm going to stop sharing this video for this slide for 2 minutes, so that I can show you the mannequin. So assume somebody has collapsed in front of you. As we showed you in the slide earlier, person could have collapsed sitting down, sideways, anyway. So the first thing you need to do is put the person on the floor, on the flat surface, ekdam straight. आपको नीचे उसको लेटाना है. Okay, that's the first thing we're going to do. Now we're going to check whether he is responding. तो हम कैसे check करेंगे? We have to tap both his shoulders hard and ask, are you okay? So ऐसे हम करेंगे. हेलो भाई साहब,
Like this.
आप ठीक हो? आप ठीक हो?
Like
आर
this.
यू ओके? सो कैन आप ऐसे देख सकते हो.
Yeah.
दोनों कंधों पे हम थोड़ा जोर से मारेंगे एंड पूछेंगे आप ठीक हो कि नहीं. हेलो, आर यू ओके? आप ठीक हो? आप ठीक हो? यू आर चेकिंग कि ये आदमी होश में है कि नहीं. इज ही कॉन्शियस और नॉट. So if he moves a bit or he gives some kind of response, he's responsive. He's not बेहोश नहीं है. बट अगर आपने ऐसे थोड़ा जोर से किया और थोड़ा जोर से चिल्लाया, देखिए यहाँ पे आपको प्यार मोहब्बत नहीं दिखाना है. You have to do it hard. So you have to hit the shoulders hard and shout also loudly to make sure he is responding or not. So आपने जोर से किया, हेलो आप ठीक हो? आप ठीक हो? And there's no response, that means this person is unconscious. ये बेहोश है. Okay, once you've recognized कि ये बेहोश है, you have to check whether he is breathing. So there are many ways of checking if a person is breathing. जैसे आनंद ने बताया, put your finger under the nose, you can check this, you can check the pulse. बहुत सारे तरीके हैं. ये तरीके गलत नहीं है. They are all correct ways of checking somebody's breathing. But we are going to teach you the fastest way of checking if somebody is breathing, and that is by putting the hand on the abdomen. So सब लोग जो आप वीडियो पे हैं, शायद लाइव फेसबुक पे लाइव हो, आप अपना हाथ रख सकते हो यहाँ पे. Sit up straight, put your hand on the abdomen, जैसे आप आनंद को देख सकते हो.
Like
and
this.
check, just press it a little bit, थोड़ा जोर से प्रेस कीजिए, 10 सेकंड तक हाथ रखिए, and check if there is a movement. ऊपर नीचे हो रहा है आपका बॉडी, you can feel that you're breathing. This is the same way आपको ऐसे रखना है. जो गिरा है उसका हाथ, उसके abdomen पे आपको हाथ रखना है, थोड़ा प्रेस करके 10 सेकंड तक, and check if there is any movement. If there is a movement, this person is breathing. Take him to the hospital. He has collapsed due to some other reason. लेकिन आपने चेक कर लिया कि नो रेस्पॉन्स है और आपने हाथ रख दिया 10 सेकंड तक and there is no breathing, that means this person is gone into a sudden cardiac arrest situation and he needs your help. ये आदमी मरा नहीं है. He is gone into a sudden cardiac arrest situation. He needs your help. उसके पास है 10 मिनट का समय है, आपको मदद करनी है. Okay, so our keywords here is no response, no breathing. It's a sudden cardiac arrest. We have recognized it. For any other reason of collapse, समझो शुगर लो हो गया है या ओवरडोज ऑफ मेडिकेशन है या फिट्स आया है, फॉर एनी अदर रीजन he may not be conscious but he will be breathing. Very important. So no response, no breathing, it's a sudden cardiac arrest we have recognized. Clear? Now I'll just put on the slide. आप देख सकते हो slide को. So if you can see the slide now, it says आदमी को नीचे लेटा गया है, checking response, no response, checked for breathing 10 seconds, no breathing, no response, no breathing, we have recognized a cardiac arrest. Our first step is done. Yes, Anand, do you want to add something or should we move on to the next step?
Yeah, let's do the next step.
So we're going to go to our next step. Our first step, we've recognized the cardiac arrest, no response, no breathing. Now, second step, you're going to call for medical help. As I said earlier, this is out of hospital collapse. So you need medical help. You need an ambulance. So जब आप second step में पहुंचोगे, you have to call either 108 or the nearby hospital ambulances. Now when I say nearby, it means जहां आप रहते हो वहां के आसपास के hospitals और जहां पे आप काम करते हो वहां के आसपास के हॉस्पिटल्स के नंबर्स, इमरजेंसी नंबर्स हमेशा आपके फोन में सेव होने चाहिए. Should save the numbers of hospitals around you where you're staying and where you're working in your phone. Please save it today because remember, an emergency can happen anywhere, anytime. Now, along with the nearby ambulance numbers, also save the number 108. This is a government service number and you can dial it directly from your phone. So you please make sure that you save numbers in your phone today of 108 as well as nearby hospital ambulance numbers. Now when you call the number, either you call 108, कब हम दोनों नंबर क्यों बोल रहे हैं? Because कभी आपने 108 डायल किया, कभी लगा नहीं या किसी ने उठाया नहीं. So you should always have an alternative number. So 108 and nearby hospital numbers both should be saved in your phone. Now when you call your second step for medical help, make sure you say ask for a cardiac ambulance. जब आप फोन करोगे और बोलोगे जल्दी से एम्बुलेंस भेज दो, वार्ड बॉय छोटा सा एम्बुलेंस में स्ट्रेचर लेके आ जाएगा. लेकिन ये सेकंड स्टेप में आपको ये सिचुएशन में कार्डियक एम्बुलेंस की जरूरत है बिकॉज हर कार्डियक एम्बुलेंस में डॉक्टर भी रहता है और ये वाली मशीन भी रहती है. So make sure in your second step, when you call the ambulance, either 108 or the nearby hospital numbers, you ask for a cardiac ambulance. Very important. Also, you need to ask for an AED machine. जैसे हम बाद में हमारा वेबसाइट डालेंगे ऊपर on this presentation, so you all can go to our website and check in that where all the AEDs that we have placed are around. In case there are any around you, हो सकता है आपके घर के आसपास या आपके ऑफिस के आसपास एक AED machine हो placed by our project. So make sure in your second step you call for a cardiac ambulance and tell somebody to get the closest AED if you know there's one close by to you. Okay, so second step, cardiac ambulance you have to call and get the nearby AED machine. Yeah, Anand, do you want to add something?
I'll just add one line here. Dekhe, if you've got your pen and a paper handy, you can probably write down 108, you can probably write down AED, and you can probably write down cardiac ambulance. These three are so important for you to remember when this actually occurs. So when a collapse would occur, generally there's going to be panic. Nobody is going to know what is supposed to be done. And that time, since you know what you need to do, you need to remember these. और 108 का सवाल जहाँ तक है वो तो आप अपने फ़ोन में फीड कर लीजिएगा इस सेशन के बाद, ना ही अपने फ़ोन पे, लेकिन अपने फैमिली मेम्बर्स, अपने फ्रेंड्स के फ़ोन में भी फीड करवा दीजिएगा ज़बरदस्ती, because at that time you will not remember which number to call. And if you have this fed already in your phone, it's going to be like a godsend. Okay, cardiac ambulance is so important because cardiac ambulance has all those apparatus and equipments that the patient would require. Okay, so remember this. All right. Okay,
so we've done two steps. First step, no response, no breathing. We've recognized the cardiac arrest. Second step, we've called for a cardiac ambulance, dialing 108 or nearby hospital numbers, and we've asked for the nearby AED machine. Let's come to our third step. Our third step is doing chest compression. So I'm going to switch off the presentation again. So first of all, I'm going to show you the place जहाँ पे आपको chest compression करने हैं. If you can all see the mannequin, think of an imaginary cross. The center point here between the two nipples is exactly the place जहाँ पे आपको देना है chest compressions. Okay, so if you feel your body, there's a hard sternum, and then you'll feel a soft portion here. center of the chest between the two nipples. यहाँ पे आपको exactly देना है chest compressions. Now let's look at the hand positions. So all of you all, if you are on the video is on, you can all put your hand straight. एक जो dominant hand है आपका जो ज़्यादा use करते हो, put your hand
Like
straight.
this.
Open up the fingers and interlock it with the other hand. Both elbows need to be straight. Okay,
Yeah,
we
it
interlock
should
the
be straight.
fingers tight. Okay, if everybody can see Anand and me, this portion is called the heel of the palm. The heel of the palm will come in this center point जो आपको दिखाया है, like this.
Like this.
Okay, now we are going to show you a small video जहाँ पे आपको chest compressions बराबर से समझ में आ जाएगा. So let's look at that. So if you can all see the screen, person को पहले नीचे लेटाया गया है on the floor, हाथ जमीन पे लेटाया गया है. The other person who's going to help him is come in position. He's interlocked his fingers, his elbows are straight. He's come up on his knees. Now this compression has to be done either from the left hand side of the person or the right hand side of the person. सर की तरफ से नहीं होगा, पैर की तरफ से compression नहीं होगा. So either left hand side or right hand side of the person. He's ready, he's on his knees, elbows are straight, fingers are interlocked, and he's going to start doing chest compressions. Please watch how he's doing this.
Now it's your turn to practice. First, get into position. Place the heel of one hand on the center of the chest. Put the heel of your other hand on top of the first. Follow along with the drum beat. Let's begin. Push straight down, hard. Push down at least 2 inches.
As you can see, he's
Push at the rate of 100 to 120 compressions per minute. After each compression, let the chest come back up to its normal position. Keep your compressions going until the drum beat stops.
He's continuously compressing hard and fast, letting the chest recoil, going down and coming up. If you can all see the video and hear it too. Okay, so जैसे आपने देखा वीडियो में, person is made to lie down flat on the floor. The other person who's come to help him, either left hand side of the person or right hand side of the person, he's interlocked his hands, elbows are straight, pressure is coming from the shoulders, center of the chest, and he started doing compression. Now these compressions have to be done at a rate of 100 to 120 per minute, going down 5 centimeters and recoiling, going down 5 centimeters and recoiling. So you have to keep doing these compressions hard and fast, non-stop. You have not to stop doing these compressions, as you saw in the video. Now exactly हम कर क्या रहे? Why are we doing this? His heart has stopped. Because his heart has stopped, blood is not reaching his brain. 3 मिनट तक brain तक नहीं पहुंचा खून, तो ये brain damaged condition में चला जाएगा. He will go into a coma और 10 मिनट में आदमी खत्म. ये हम नहीं चाहते. तो ये जो हमारा heel of the palm है, this becomes his heart. जैसे हमने hand रख दिया उसके chest पे and we compress and we recoil. When we recoil, blood from his heart is pushed to his brain, keeping his brain alive. So see how important this is. Pressing down and coming up. The moment you compress and you recoil, blood is pushed to his brain, keeping his brain alive till your medical help comes. You have to continue this hard and fast. But as you saw in the video, आदमी जमीन पे है, आप knees पे हो. जब आप करोगे, आप थक जाओगे. You'll be tired in few compressions. So what do you do in this situation? हमारे देश में अगर कोई कोलैप्स होता है तो 10-20 पीपल कम एंड स्टैंड अराउंड यू. करेंगे कुछ नहीं, फ्री का एडवाइस देंगे, जूता सुंगाओ, पानी पिलाओ, ऑल दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स. इट्स नॉर्मल. People don't know what to do, so they tell you that. So you have to tell them, no, I know what to do. You start doing compressions. The moment you feel slightly tired, you tell the people around you to start doing this in turns. So आप बोलोगे अभी आप टर्न लीजिए, उसके बाद आप टर्न लीजिए. Take turn by turn, let them do the chest compressions. And while they are doing the chest compressions, you can monitor them. Make sure they're doing it in the center of the chest. Make sure they're doing 100 to 120 beats per minute, going down 5 centimeters. और आप तब तक एम्बुलेंस को भी कॉल कर सकते हो. But if you are tired and you are doing chest compressions, you will not do effective compressions. So you will not do 100 to 120, nor will you go down 5 centimeters. So it's no use. उससे अच्छा है आप बोलो, tell people take turn by turn and continue this chest compressions hard and fast without stopping. But till when? कब तक हमको करना है ये? You have to continue these compressions till 1. he revives, in the sense आँख खोल लिया, breathing start कर लिया, you will stop your compressions. Second, till your cardiac ambulance comes. अगर cardiac ambulance आ गया तो आप उसके हवाले करोगे, लो डॉक्टर के हवाले ले लो पेशेंट को. एंड थर्ड चीज, अगर कोई आके ये AED मशीन आपको आके लेके दिया तो, so if the ambulance arrives or till he revives or till this machine comes, आपको ये कंटिन्यू ही रखना है टर्न बाय टर्न. अभी आप बोलोगे एम्बुलेंस विल टेक हाफ एन आवर टू कम, तब तक क्या हम कंप्रेशन करेंगे? यस, you have to continue compressions. Doctors have done compressions for even an hour and a half and saved somebody. So you are nobody to decide कि उन्हें 15 मिनट हो गया compression है, बस हो गया, now we'll stop. No, you have to continue doing chest compressions turn by turn at the rate of 100 to 120 per minute, going down 5 centimeters and recoiling. Continue it till 1, he revives, 2, your cardiac ambulance comes, or 3rd, your AD machine comes. You have to continue it hard and fast. Remember one thing, in a sudden cardiac arrest, the person is almost gone. मर चुका है. You cannot do anything worse. The only thing you can do is bring him back to life by doing this chest compressions. So ये करना बहुत जरूरी है. Okay? Yeah.
Okay, I can probably add one or two things with CPR. देखिए, आपने जो पहले स्लाइड देखा था, रिमेम्बर, जहाँ पे वो आदमी ऐसे बैठा हुआ था, अगर आपको याद हो तो जब कार्डियक अरेस्ट होता है और आदमी कोई भी पोजीशन पे हो, आपको चेक करना है, रिकग्नाइज करना है, सबसे पहला आप काम करिए, उसको फ्लैट ऑन द सरफेस लिटाइए, जैसे आपने वीडियो में देखा. ओके, दैट इज द करेक्ट वे ऑफ डूइंग इट, एंड देन यू विल बी एबल टू डू द प्रोसीजर नेक्स्ट. नाउ देखिए, आपने आज तक, दिस इज फॉर दोज पीपल हु आर नॉट डॉक्टर्स, डॉक्टर्स वुड ऑब्वियसली हैव डन इट, बट जिन्होंने नहीं किया है आज तक CPR, उनको डरने की जरूरत नहीं है. वी वांट टू स्ट्रेस ऑन दैट. ओके, आपने अभी तक नहीं किया है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप करेंगे तो आप घबरा जाएंगे या फिर आप नहीं कर पाएंगे या फिर कुछ डैमेज ना हो जाए अगर आप कर रहे हैं तो आप ऐसा अपने मन में बिल्कुल भी सोचेगा नहीं, बिकॉज CPR इज वन ऑफ द सेफेस्ट थिंग्स टू डू on a person if the person has gone into a cardiac arrest situation, and the only thing you can do on that person for him to survive or just revive. ठीक है, अगर आप CPR करते हो तो कभी भी आप डरिएगा नहीं, क्योंकि विक्टिम को डैमेज होने वाला नहीं. आप ये शायद अपने मन में सोचोगे अगर मैंने कर दिया, क्योंकि क्या होता है कि आप 100 से 120 बार कर रहे हो, और सिर्फ 100 नहीं, हो सकता है 200 बार करना पड़ जाए, 300 बार करना पड़ जाए, विच मीन्स आप बहुत ज्यादा कंप्रेशंस दे रहे हो उसके यहाँ पे, इस छाती के एरिया में. तो उससे क्या हो सकता है, सिर्फ एक ही चीज गलत हो सकती है, उसको भी गलत नहीं माना जाता है. गलत ये हो सकती है कि हो सकता है उसका रिब बोन ब्रेक हो जाए. And when I say break, I don't mean into two, like a little fracture. लेकिन the rib bone can heal. It can take time and it can heal. But once the life has gone, it's gone. So your primary objective is always to save the life of that person. So keep doing it. Okay? Nothing wrong if you've broken the bone. In fact, doctors sometimes do it too, which is actually a recognition of doing it in the right way. So don't worry about it. The other thing that I want to say is that we have been terming this as CPR, but actually it's CCR. Okay, आप slide में भी देख सकते हैं, उसमें लिखा हुआ है begin CCR chest compressions. Now ये ज़्यादा difference इन दोनों में ज़्यादा difference है नहीं. मैं आपको पहले इसका इन दोनों का full form बता देता हूँ, फिर एक छोटा सा difference बता दूंगा आपको. CPR is basically cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Okay, cardio क्योंकि cardiovascular, cardio दिल की बात है, pulmonary because related to the lungs, and resuscitation means revival. Okay, but we are teaching you today something known as CCR. Okay, cardio cerebral. Now we want to save the brain. Remember, we want to save the brain from going into coma. So cardio cerebral resuscitation. अब इसमें डिफरेंस क्या है? जो हम आज आपको सिखा रहे हैं उसमें आपको माउथ टू माउथ रिससिटेशन देने की जरूरत नहीं है. ओके, आपने मूवीज में भी देखा होगा, उसमें कभी भी हीरो को हीरोइन को बचाना है तो उसको माउथ टू माउथ ही देना है, उसकी जरूरत है कि नहीं है, कुछ लेना देना नहीं उससे. बट हमको वो नहीं करना है, रखिएगा. ओके, जस्ट डूइंग इट विद योर हैंड्स इज क्वाइट इनफ. CPR में यू मे हैव टू डू इट. क्यों? बिकॉज इट माइट बी अ ड्राउनिंग सिचुएशन. सो आप 30 कंप्रेशंस, 2 ब्रेथ्स, ये प्रोसीजर से आप करेंगे. अगर आपको नहीं आता है तो डोंट डू इट. With CCR, you don't have to do it at all, so don't worry about it. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, Sumaiya, let's move.
So हमने 3 स्टेप कवर कर लिए. First step, no response, no breathing. We've recognized a cardiac arrest. Second step, we've called either 108 or the nearby hospitals and asked for a cardiac ambulance and asked somebody to bring the nearby AED machine. Third step में हमने center of the chest, we have done compression at the rate of 100 to 120 per minute, going down 5 centimeters and recoiling till we have to continue this hard and fast, turn by turn, till he revives or till your cardiac ambulance comes or till your AED machine comes. Remember, mouth to mouth resuscitation की जरूरत नहीं है. Hands only CPR is enough to save a person. Okay, so please, especially out of hospital ho, so please do not go and give mouth to mouth resuscitation. You never know क्या infection तुम gain कर रहे हो. Okay, so let's come to our next step now. Our next step is using the AED machine. So as you can see, the AED machine looks like this. ये जो machine आपको दिखा रहे हैं, AED automated external defibrillator. Layman's language is called a shock machine. ये machine शायद आपको airports पे बहुत सारे दिखेंगे. In case you've not noticed it now, in case you go to the airport, please notice it. But अगर ये machine आपको कोई दूसरा shape या color में दिखा, so please don't bother about it. All the AED machines work the same way. It is only because they are different manufacturers, they are different color or different shape. Otherwise, they all work the same way. So जैसे मैंने machine खोला, if you can see inside, the machine looks like this. There is a pull lever. There is a pull lever. The moment you pull open the lever, the machine starts telling you what to do step by step because it's automated. अभी मैं इसको switch off कर रही हूँ आपको explain करने के लिए. लेकिन अगर आपने कभी इसको use किया तो please उसको switch off नहीं करेंगे. तो जैसे मैंने machine खोला है, you can see over here on the screen, there is a set of pads which has come out from inside. Okay, these pads are electrodes. Each pad has got an arrow indication with a picture on it showing you where this needs to be attached on the body. So if you can see, this arrow says here on the right hand side below the collarbone, and this arrow says here on the left hand side below the ribs. Okay, so जैसे picture में दिया है, I'm going to peel it off and attach it over the body to show it to you. So I'm peeling it off. So if you can all see the mannequin, ये picture में दिया है right hand side below the collarbone, I've attached it like that. This one says here, left hand side below the ribs, I've attached it here. Now the important चीज है कि पैच जैसे picture में दिया है हमको वैसे ही attach करना है. We cannot attach the pads like this or like this or like this. जैसे पिक्चर में दिया हमको वैसे ही अटैच करना है. द रीजन बीइंग कि हमारा दिल जो है थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे सेंटर लेफ्ट में है, थोड़ा सा लेफ्ट में है. सो व्हेन यू अटैच द पैड्स लाइक दिस एंड द शॉक इज गिवन, द शॉक गोज थ्रू द हार्ट एंड कम्स बैक. So the position of the pads needs to be exactly as it is given in the picture. Clear? Now when we attach the pads, the important thing here is these are electrodes. They cannot be attached over clothing. They have to be attached over dry and bare skin. Now when I say dry and bare skin, अगर पसीना है या आदमी गीला है, you just wipe it and attach the pads. But bare skin, if it is a public place, you know, जैसे mall है, beach है, a person has collapsed, तो आप क्या करोगे? अगर आदमी है तो आप ऊपर कर दोगे, खोल दोगे, and you will attach the pads. But the same thing can happen to a lady. Remember the slide we showed you earlier? Man, woman and child, किसी को कभी भी हो सकता है. सो अगर लेडी है तो आप क्या करोगे? समझो साड़ी पहना है लेडी ने, तो आपने साड़ी ब्लाउज एडजस्ट करके आप बेयर स्किन पे लगा सकते हो. बट इफ द लेडी इज वेयरिंग अ फुल सूट और आप कपड़ा निकालने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, तो पब्लिक विल से आप क्या कर रहे हो? मॉडेस्टी बीच में आ रहा है. आप तो मदद करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, बट यू नो आप पब्लिक विल से व्हाट आर यू डूइंग, आप कपड़े क्यों निकाल रहे हो? तो हमने छोटा सा सोल्यूशन दिया है. जहां पे भी हमने ये मशीन लगाया है, सो देयर इज, आई एम सॉरी, there is a pair of scissors in this which just popped out right now. So there is a pair of scissors in this जहाँ पे भी हमने मशीन लगाया है. So if you can all see, आप क्या करोगे? अगर लेडी है, टाइट सूट पहना है, तो आप इतना पोर्शन लिफ्ट करके काट दोगे, इतना पोर्शन लिफ्ट करके काट दोगे, so that you just put the pads over bare skin. आपको फुल कपड़ा निकालने की जरूरत नहीं. वैसे मॉडेस्टी भी बचेगी और आप जान भी बचा लोगे. See, as I'm repeating it again, in a cardiac arrest, a person is gone. The only thing you can do is bring that person back to life. So CPR is one way and AED machine is also another way, right? So हमने pads खोला है machine में, pads लगा दिया है. Now let's see what the machine has to say.
Lace pad. No one should touch the patient. Analyzing. No one should touch the patient. Analyzing. Shock advised. Stay clear of patient. Press the flashing orange button now.
The machine is saying press the
Deliver
button to
shock
deliver
now.
shock. If you all can see, this button is flashing.
Press the flashing orange button now.
So I'm going to press the button.
Shock delivered. Be sure the ambulance service has been called. It is safe to touch the patient. Start CPR.
So what did the machine do? जैसे आपने pads attach किए, the machine said analyzing. What is the machine analyzing? Machine is analyzing his heart. आपने तो check कर लिया, no response, no breathing. It's a cardiac arrest. Machine is making sure. So when it tells you analyzing the heart, it tells you do not touch the patient. The reason being, machine is checking his heart. If you are touching the patient, the machine will pick up your heart rhythm also. So you do not touch the patient. Let the machine only check that person's heart. Once the machine analyzes the heart, the machine will decide whether the shock is required or not. आप नहीं decide करोगे. If the machine feels shock is not required, machine will say shock not required. But if the machine feels कि shock की ज़रूरत है, then it flashed a button. If you all saw in the machine, you have to press the button. But while pressing the button, again you do not have to touch the person, because shock देने के time पे उसको तो झटका लगेगा, shock तो उसको लगेगा. If you are touching the person, you will also get a shock. फिर उधर वो लेटा इधर आप लेटे होंगे. So do not touch the person because you will also get a shock. So you just press the button. एक बार उसको झटका आ जाता है, that you will see in the video that we'll show you. Then the machine said, now it is safe to touch the patient, start CPR. So you will not remove the pads, you will not switch off the machine. Center of the chest, you will start doing CPR at the rate of 100 to 120 per minute, going down 5 centimeters and recoiling. For 2 minutes, the machine is on, but it lets you do CPR. After 2 minutes, the machine goes back into the second cycle. Second time machine will analyze the heart. It may decide whether the second shock is required or not. It's not necessary कि एक shock में उसका दिल start हो जाए pump करना. He may require 2, 3, 5, 10 shocks. But who's going to decide that? The machine will decide that. All that you have to do is listen to the prompts. Okay, machine ने बोला analyze कर रहा है तो आप मत छुओ. Machine ने बोला button press करो, आप button press करो. Machine ने बोला CPR करो, आप CPR करो. All that you need to do is just follow the prompts. The machine itself can give up to 200 shocks. But वो कितने shock देना है, machine will decide. You just follow the prompts. Clear? Yeah, Anand.
Okay, I can probably add one or two things with the AED also. देखिए, the AED is a life-saving machine. Okay, it's just like I told you about CPR. I want to say the same thing about the AED machine, that you should not be scared of handling it. The simple logic for that is that this machine has been made for lay people to use. It's not basically designed to be used by the doctors, because they have their machines. There are big defibrillators in the hospital. The occurrence of sudden cardiac arrest that we are talking about are the occurrences that happen outside the hospital. Okay, that's why these machines are so important, because these machines are the same machines that are in the hospital, but these are small and they are portable. So you can pick them up and directly वहीं पे आप लेके जाइए जहाँ पे victim को ज़रूरत है. So it's so easy. Now, this machine जिसने यूज नहीं किया, और आप सभी ने यूज नहीं किया होगा, लेकिन हम Sumaiya is going to list the name of the website जहाँ पे आप ये सब देख सकते हैं, जहाँ पे हमने ये इंस्टॉल किया है. कभी आप वहाँ से गुजर रहे हो तो आप देखें ये मशीन को, तो प्लीज फील फ्री, आप उसके पास जाइए, उसको हैंडल करिए, देखिए क्या है. You'll get to know more about it. Okay. Now, आपको शायद ऐसा लगता होगा कि क्योंकि इसको शॉक मशीन बोलते हैं, इसने बाय मिस्टेक शॉक दे दिया तो क्या होगा. Okay. Now this machine has been made in a very logical, in a very precise manner. Okay, in a particular algorithm. So it will never give a shock just by itself. पहली बात तो ये. दूसरी बात, whenever there is an occurrence where the machine says okay shock is required, तो वो अपने आप तो वैसे भी नहीं देती है, क्योंकि आपने अभी डेमो में देखा होगा Sumaiya had to press the button. So a human intervention is required to actually give the shock. All right. So by chance shock लगे ऐसा होता ही नहीं है. And plus this machine is the safest machine. It's used around the world. Okay. Now मैं आपको एक चीज इसके बारे में ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि ये मशीन के जो पैड्स हैं, these are sticky pads. तो अगर सडन कार्डियक अरेस्ट एक विक्टिम को ऐसी जगह पे होता है जहाँ पे वाटर बॉडी है, या फॉर एग्जांपल बारिश आ रही है, या फॉर एग्जांपल उसको आपने अभी स्विमिंग पूल से निकाला है, या बीच में हुआ है, समुद्र से आपने उसको निकाला है, तो उसकी बॉडी ऑब्वियसली गीली होगी. विच मीन्स अगर आप स्टिकी पैड्स यहाँ पे स्टिक करोगे गीली बॉडी में तो स्टिक होने वाले नहीं है. इसलिए इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि बिफोर यू स्टिक द पैड्स यू नीड टू मेक श्योर टू ड्राई दैट पर्टिकुलर स्पेस वेयर यू गोइंग टू स्टिक द पैड्स. तो आपने एक बार स्टिक ड्राई कर दिया, स्टिक कर दिया, देन इट्स गोना परफॉर्म प्रॉपर्ली, अदरवाइज इट मे नॉट. ओके. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about this machine, rather let me say this in a different way. We are looking at you as individual citizens of the country also, okay, not just people who have got gathered to understand what's going on today. देखिए ये मशीन एक लाइफ सेवर मशीन है, ओके, और हमारा मकसद ये है एज iCARE कि हम ये मशीन पूरे भारत में लगाएं. Every 500 meters. Why? Because we want to make our country into a safer place to live in. लेकिन ये हमारे अकेले का काम नहीं है. We need everybody's help. Now, as individual caring citizens of the country, I want to request you to, once this session is over, to go on to Google and search for AED. Okay? Find out more about AED. ये machine क्या है, कैसे करती है. And after that, please go on to wherever you stay in your society, go and talk to your chairman and the secretary and ask them to get this machine and install it in your society. Okay, what will happen then is kabhi agar aisi zarurat padi so this machine is going to save the life of that person. Okay, now one machine for the entire society is good enough. It's not a machine that you need to keep in your house, and it's not a machine that's going to be in daily use. ठीक है, तो आप एक पूरे सोसाइटी में एक रखिए, काफी है. पूरे जिम के लिए एक काफी है, पूरे क्लब के लिए काफी, इस तरह से काफी है. Okay, but it's important that you buy this machine and keep it in your society. You're going to make not only your society but the entire area a very safe place to stay. But having said this, I want to make one thing absolutely clear. We do not sell the machines. Okay, we are not into the business of selling machines at all. हमने आज आपको जो मशीन के बारे में बताया है वो इसलिए बताया है कि आपको इसके बारे में पता होना चाहिए. If you step out of India, everybody knows it. Yeah, everybody knows it. It's installed everywhere. People know CPR. People are not scared of the cops. हमारा भारत दुनिया में, you know, we are the second largest populated country in the world, and yet we are the people who are scared of the cops. We don't know the laws. We don't know about AED. We haven't learned CPR, education system, etc., etc. So we just want to make sure that everybody is safe. You know, it becomes a safer place. So please, on a request, learn about AED more and get it installed in your society. You know, of course, once you've installed, let us know, and we'll give a free demonstration like we are doing today to your society members also. Okay? All right. Sumaiya.
So we've learned about this AED machine. I'll just add 2-3 more points to it. One, that this machine is battery operated. It doesn't work on electricity. So आप easily install कर सकते हो. इसका battery life 5 साल तक है. So 5 years, there's no need for any maintenance for this machine. The only thing is, if you use the pads on somebody, these pads have to be changed after every use. So machine के साथ there's a set of pads that come, and there's an extra set of pads in the box. So अगर आपने ये pads use किया किसी पे, you can easily change the pads and put the next set of pads, and you can order one from the dealer. So ये बहुत easy to use machine है, बहुत maintenance free है. So जरूर जैसे आनंद ने बताया आपको, make sure that you know आपके societies वगैरह में या बड़ा you know club है या gym है, if you're part of anything, please go ahead and tell them the importance of the machine so that this can be put there. And as we said, we do not sell these machines. We are here only to train you. You know, sudden cardiac arrest में आप कैसे मदद करोगे, machine कैसे use करोगे. We are only here to train you, and we do not charge anything for any of our trainings. So in case you would like to set up a training for any group, any college that you're a part of, any societies, any corporates, please contact us. हम training completely free of charge करते हैं. Our only intention with this hospital is to save lives. Okay. So coming back to it, so we've completed our 4 steps: no response, no breathing. We've recognized a cardiac arrest. Secondly, we've called 108 or the nearby hospitals and asked for a cardiac ambulance, and we've asked somebody to bring the close by AED machine. Third step, we've done chest compressions in the center of the chest, 100 to 120 per minute, going down 5 centimeters and recoiling. Continue doing this so that you don't get tired. Turn by turn, you tell people to take turns. Continue doing it till he revives, or till your cardiac ambulance comes, or till your AD machine comes. Then once your AD machine has arrived, you've opened the machine, attached the pads over dry and bare skin, and you followed the instructions of the machine. How many shocks have to be given, the machine will decide. 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 shocks, how many ever shocks the person requires, the machine will decide. You have only to follow the instructions. Clear? Now 2-3 important points. One, it has to be a witness fall. What do you mean by witness fall? अगर आपके सामने कोई गिर गया या किसी ने बोला अभी तो गिरा है, तभी आप ये सब प्रोसीजर करोगे. If you're going for a morning walk and somebody has collapsed all through the night, या किसी के sometimes people get a cardiac arrest in their sleep, आपको सुबह सुबह पता चल जाता है. So ये सब करके फायदा नहीं है. It has to be a witness fall. Within somebody has said अभी तो गिरा है, 5-10 मिनट 20 मिनट हो गया, तो then you go ahead and try. Another thing is you have to make sure of scene safety. Now what do you mean by scene safety? अगर रास्ते के बीच में कोई गिर गया या कोई fire hazard हो, electricity point हो, so make sure you take the person to the side of the road or a safe place, and then only you start doing all these things. Okay, just make sure you are safe before you help somebody else. Another thing is अगर bed पे हो गया sudden cardiac arrest, so spongy bed पे CPR नहीं होगा. That's the reason why you need to put the person down on a hard surface and then only do all these things. 2-3 other important points I'll add here कि अगर पेशेंट को आपने चेस्ट खोला CPR करने के लिए, एंड यू सी के बाईपास हुआ है, या कि स्टेंट लगा है उसको, या ICD है, पेसमेकर है, या मेडिकल पैच है, या प्रेग्नेंट लेडी है, फॉर एनी रीजन, अगर देयर इज नो रिस्पॉन्स एंड नो ब्रीदिंग, यू हैव टू डू दीज थिंग्स. ऐसा नहीं कि वो बाईपास हो गया तो मैं CPR कैसे करूं, आई विल डू सम डैमेज, या प्रेग्नेंट लेडी है, या ICD है, पेसमेकर है, आपको ये सब करना ही है. फॉर एनी रीजन, फॉर एनी पर्सन, इफ दे स्टॉप्स रिस्पॉन्डिंग एंड स्टॉप्स ब्रीदिंग, आपको CPR करना ही है. The only thing is when you attach the pads of this on a person, if you see that there is a pacemaker or an ICD patch you can make out over there, don't put the pad on top of that. You can put it 1 inch up or 1 inch down. That doesn't make a difference. But CPR or AD use karna zaruri hai. Yeah. So let's just show you a small video. वो वीडियो के बाद हम सारे क्वेश्चंस आंसर करेंगे.
Yeah, Sumaiya, let me add just one point, and
Sure.
we'll show the video and we'll answer all the questions. Okay, just one last point before we see the video, guys. देखिए, यूजुअली अगर आदमी कोलैप्स होता है तो हमारा फर्स्ट इंस्टिंक्ट क्या होता है, हम उसको फटाफट एक कार में डालते हैं, कार में, टैक्सी में, ऑटो रिक्शा में फटाफट डाल के उसको हॉस्पिटल लेके जाते हैं. जल्दी से डालो, जल्दी से लेके जाओ. फॉर एनी रीजन ऑफ कोलैप्स ऐसे करना ठीक है, लेकिन आपने आज रिकग्नाइज कर लिया है कि किस तरह से सडन कार्डियक अरेस्ट को पहचाना जाता है ना. इफ यू हैव रिकग्नाइज्ड दैट द पर्सन इज सफरिंग फ्रॉम अ कार्डियक अरेस्ट, डू नॉट डू दैट. डोंट पुट हिम इनटू अ व्हीकल, डोंट पुट हिम इनटू अ कार, टैक्सी, ऑटो रिक्शा. डोंट टेक हिम टू द हॉस्पिटल. मैं ऐसा क्यों बोल रहा हूँ और आपको क्या करना चाहिए? आपको करना ये चाहिए कि उसी समय वहीं पे उसको फ्लोर पे लिटा के CCR शुरू करना चाहिए. आपका आइडियल सिचुएशन ये है कि हॉस्पिटल उसके पास आए, उसको आप हॉस्पिटल शिफ्ट मत करिए, डॉक्टर को उसके पास आने दीजिए, उसको डॉक्टर के पास मत लेके जाइए. आपको उसको व्हीकल में क्यों नहीं डालना है? क्योंकि व्हीकल में स्पेस नहीं होती है. आपने अगर विक्टिम को हॉस्पिटल में व्हीकल में डाल दिया, देखिए कार्डियक अरेस्ट में एक ही चीज की जरूरत होती है अगर उसको बचाना है, और उसको कहते हैं CCR. अगर आपने उसको कार में डाल दिया, ऑटो रिक्शा में डाल दिया, तो आप CCR करना छोड़ दोगे, और नहीं भी छोड़ोगे तो आप इफेक्टिवली नहीं कर पाओगे. 5 सेंटीमीटर्स डीप, 100 to 120 beats per minute आप नहीं करोगे. That means you would be potentially be playing with the life of the person. So the best thing is for him to lie, making him lie flat on the surface and beginning CPR right there. Okay, it will potentially save the life of that person. All right. Okay, Sumaiya, let's play the video.
So we'll just show you a short video. इससे आपको अच्छे से समझ में आ जाएगा. This video is also on YouTube. You can go ahead and see it there also.
आपको याद है ना, हम लोग उस दिन शादी में गए थे. और आपको मेरी वो फ्रेंड याद है ना सुनीता, कल सेम कॉस्ट्यूम ना मुझे भी अपने लिए चाहिए। अंकल याद है आपको मैंने बोला था। अंकल 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 प्लीज हेल्प मी प्लीज हेल्प मी।
ओह माय गॉड,
चलो देखते हैं।
अंकल
क्या हुआ?
प्लीज आप एम्बुलेंस को कॉल करेंगे?
एक मिनट मैं देखता हूँ। हेलो, क्या आप ठीक हैं? हेलो, इनको कार्डियक अरेस्ट आया हुआ है, आप जाके शॉक मशीन लेकर आइए, तब तक मैं इनको हार्ट मसाज देता हूँ। ये बॉक्स यहीं रख दीजिए और जैसे मैं कर रहा हूँ हार्ट मसाज, आप वैसे ही करिए।
Okay, so जैसे आपने देखा वीडियो में, person collapses. Thankfully, somebody knows how to do CPR. He does CPR till the meanwhile the AD machine comes. While attaching the pads, also the other person is doing CPR, so there's no waste of time. CPR is continued even till the pads are there. Then the machine prompted a shock. Shock was delivered. जैसे झटका आया, उनको देखा आपने, and then he came into consciousness. He started breathing. तब तक आपका cardiac ambulance आ गया, आपने उसको उसमें डाल दिया. Remember, even if a person comes back to consciousness, he still needs to go to the hospital for medical treatment. ऐसा नहीं कि होश में आ गया घर चला गया. He has to go to the hospital for medical treatment, right? Another important thing, as you also at the end of the slide, be a heart marshal. Now, who is a heart marshal? This training session that we've had today is our first training sessions. We have 2 more training sessions in our hospital, which is completely free of cost. After the 3 sessions, the third session, we have a small test, an MCQ test and a practical test. After that, we will certify you as heart marshals. We will give you a certificate and a badge. तो आप कभी भी किसी को रास्ते में मदद करोगे तो you can always flash your badge and say you're trained from Holy Family Hospital. So these 2 trainings are also completely free, but they are in our hospital. So unfortunately, right now we're not having it, but after the pandemic, we would be holding these sessions. So you can register for that as well. So I'll be putting up our website. You can all go through that. Anand, you want to add something, or we can ask Dr. Hema to start?
Yeah, we can probably go ahead with the question and answers.
So thank you so much. I have a lot of comments even on
Yeah,
Facebook
we
and
see
here
that.
that the session is very interesting. It's amazing, in fact. And even though Dr. Yash has answered most of the questions live, which I have typed out on Facebook as well, I think for the interest of people to hear it, we will just reiterate a few of them which have come in now. So one of the question which has come in, what do we do when we see a person who's actually collapsed on a rocky place, like a hillside or during a trek? How do we manage?
Okay. Like Sumaiya mentioned earlier, Sumaiya, you want to go ahead and answer that? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so even if it's a rocky place, find a place which is slightly at least, leveled, where you can lay somebody down flat on the floor. So basically your main motive is to get somebody flat on the floor so that you get enough of place to do compression. That is our motive. थोड़ा सा ऐसा rough area रहेगा तो भी चलेगा, but it should not be definitely rocky. Find a place where it's slightly leveled up. Am I right, Dr. Yash? Just find some place in which is slightly leveled so you have enough of place to start doing compression. Make sure you're safe before you do that, not on a hilltop or on something like that. Try and find a little safe place which is leveled, and you can definitely start doing CPR over there.
Yeah, yeah. So basically the point is, the surface wherever you're making the person lie should be flat and should be such that it's hard enough. So because you're going to do compressions on the chest.
Can we do CPR to a paralytic person if he collapses?
To a who? Sorry, say that again.
A person who is paralyzed already.
Oh. Hmm.
Yes.
Yes, of course. The logic.
Yeah. Go ahead, Anand.
Okay. A cardiac arrest, understand the logic of cardiac arrest. Okay. There could be various circumstances, various ways. A person could be at a lot of places which are unreachable, maybe, or places which you have to wade into and then get the person out. Understand the logic of sudden cardiac arrest first. The logic is that the heart has stopped. The person may have different problems with his body. Maybe he might even be into an accident. He might have met with an accident also. So various circumstances. The logic is that the person's heart has stopped. If the person's heart has stopped and he's gone into a cardiac arrest, there's only one thing you have to do, and that is CCR. So whether that person has met with an accident and there is blood on his head or on his hand, just tie whatever you can do about the blood, but you have to do CPR or CCR. There is no two ways about it. Okay, so whether that person is paralyzed, what you need to do, you need to follow the procedure that we told you. If he's non-responsive and if he's not breathing, he's gone into a cardiac arrest, and you have to perform CCR, period.
Okay.
So I think Dr. Yash has also answered that paralysis is due to a brain stroke, not cardiac arrest. Yeah. So you just go ahead. Agar no response hai, no breathing hai, aapko karna hi hai for any reason. It's just period that.
Right. So there's another question on the live which says, what if even after the AED machine, the person does not revive?
So even if the machine is used, that's what they are saying.
Yes.
So if the machine prompts, there's no shock required, machine will start doing CPR. So आप CPR to continue रखो. Even if the machine says shock not required, you just continue doing CPR till your cardiac ambulance comes. We had one case in Bandra where a person collapsed on the 6th floor and the security guard was a heart marshal. He had actually learned CPR. He had come to a hospital, given the test, and he was a heart marshal. But by the time they called him up, it was a bit too late. The person but he still tried his best. He used the AD machine, but unfortunately, one doctor from the building did not allow him to continue CPR. So if that was continued till the cardiac ambulance come, maybe the person would have revived. So it's unfortunate that people don't allow people to do CPR in a country because they are unaware, and that's the reason why lives get saved. This is the only reason why we are here to spread this awareness. Jitna ye awareness spread hoga, a video you can spread, contact us for trainings, anything to spread the awareness and save lives.
Yeah, I can probably add one more thing to this, Dr. देखिए, for example, आप AD use कर रहे हो and the AD is doing its process and it's asking you to do CPR, etc., and you're doing it. Now, if the person has not revived as yet, और अगर ambulance आ जाती है, okay, ambulance आने के बाद भी आपको पैच उसके निकालने नहीं है. आपने एक बार पैच अटैच कर दिए विक्टिम पे, AED के पैच, then under no circumstances are you to remove those pads even if the ambulance is arrived. Now ambulance जब arrive होती है और उसमें डॉक्टर निकल के आपको बोलते हैं okay, we've got a defibrillator, that's okay, you can remove, only and only then you are going to take it off, otherwise no. Let the machine go with the victim to the hospital. मैं ऐसा क्यों कह रहा हूँ, क्योंकि उस जो आपका सिनेरियो है उसके हिसाब से अभी रिवाइव नहीं हुआ है, लेकिन there is a possibility he may revive, and then again a possibility that he may go back into the same situation. So if the pad is already on the body of that person, then that means that the AD is in a continuous check of the rhythm of his heart. Okay? And if he goes back into it, then the machine is going to take care of it. Again, the same process of give the shock, etc. You know the procedure.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think there are a couple of questions which is same. How much does it cost to buy the AD machine for a housing society or generally in Mumbai? Yeah, and
ये
where can we buy it?
देखिए डिफरेंट मैन्युफैक्चरर्स डिफरेंट कॉस्ट, पहली बात तो ओके जनरली या अप्रोक्सीमेटली मैं आपको बोल सकता हूँ ये अराउंड 80,000 टू अ लाख के बीच में ये मशीन आती है. ओके, व्हाट यू हैव टू डू, you have to go onto Google, figure out the manufacturers and the companies that make it. There are many manufacturers. आप वहाँ पे चाहिए उनसे, उनको कॉल करिए, उनसे बात करिए. If you really need our assistance on it, we might be able to provide you with the numbers. But again, we've been through it, so we want to, make sure that everybody's aware that we're not into selling the machines. Like we can definitely help you.
Yeah. So there was a very relevant question. I want to take that up because somebody actually wrote how will we get confidence as lay people to go ahead and do this process for somebody as compared to doctors doing it.
Okay, I'd just like to add that first of all, please understand all the people who are attending it that in a cardiac arrest, किसी को अगर cardiac arrest होता है तो the person is gone. तो आप डरोगे, आप नहीं करोगे, that is the worst thing you can do. आप CPR करोगे तो at least आप जान तो बचा सकते हो. There is a chance you'll save a person, but if you're going to be scared and you're not going to do anything, definitely the person is gone. And as I told you earlier that we have this in our hospital 2 more sessions जहाँ पे आपको पूरा practical session मिलेगा और knowledge मिलेगा उसमें, certification मिलेगा, so you will be very confident to help somebody. But till that time, अंडरस्टैंड आपके अगर फैमिली मेंबर्स हो, आपके फ्रेंड्स हो, किसी को कार्डियक अरेस्ट होता है और आप डरते हो करने के लिए कि मैंने कुछ गलत कर लिया, तो द पर्सन इज गॉन. The only thing you can do in a cardiac arrest is do CPR and use the AD machine and try and save the person. अपनी तरफ से कोशिश करो. Don't be scared to do it because otherwise the person is gone. That is the main
I've said this before. Remember, Dr. Hema, I said this earlier. I said this for both the things, CPR and AED. आपको डरना नहीं है. और दूसरी बात देखिए, कभी कभी क्या होता है, जैसे आउट ऑफ हॉस्पिटल सिनेरियो हम लोग बात कर रहे थे, तो अगर ये सड़क में हुआ, पब्लिक जमा हो गई और फिर आप कोई ना कोई तो इंसान ऐसा होगा जो आपको बोलेगा आप क्या कर रहे हो, इवन दो तो आप उस समय डर जाओगे. सो वी टीच दैट इन अ थर्ड सेशन. यहाँ पे लाइक पब्लिक मैनेजमेंट, क्राउड मैनेजमेंट. आपको क्या करना है, आपको तभी इस तरह से बोलना है, लाइक अ लीडर वुड से, यू हैव टू शाउट, यू हैव टू बी असर्टिव, यू हैव टू से नहीं, मुझे पता है मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, मुझे जान बचाने दीजिए. आप 108 को डायल करिए. तो क्या है कि उनको एटलीस्ट थोड़ा सा एक कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा कि जो इंसान है उसको आता है, ऐसा नहीं है कि ये बस लगा हुआ है लाइक एवरीबडी एल्स. ओके, बी लाउड, बी प्रिसाइज, be sure that you are giving the confidence to the people saying that you know it, and you be confident क्योंकि कुछ आप गलत नहीं करोगे. And remember the law. Okay. All right.
I'll just add one more thing, Dr. Hema here. Is that हो सकता है कि a person is having a heart attack, he's complaining of chest pain, he's sweating, he's feeling nausea, he's not feeling well, you're taking him to the hospital, so he's complaining of pain. Suddenly while taking him to the hospital you realize that he has stopped breathing and stopped responding, so he has moved from a heart attack situation to a cardiac arrest situation. तो वो टाइम पे आपको immediately stop करके CPR start करना है. Today you have very clearly understood how to recognize a cardiac arrest. No response and no breathing. आदमी मरा नहीं है, cardiac arrest में गया है. So as soon as you recognize that, आप CPR start करो. So even if it's a heart attack situation, move from a heart attack to a cardiac arrest situation. CPR आपको करना है immediately. And as somebody said, if they are scared to do it, समझो हमने mistake से पहचान नहीं लिया. We've done no response, no breathing, but we've missed out the breathing, assume. And now you start CPR. You're not going to do him any harm. Remember that. Even if you've not recognized properly, आपने breathing skip कर लिया and you've started CPR, you're not going to harm him. Definitely the person will come around and say आप क्या कर रहे हो, because उसको दर्द होगा. So you're not going to harm the person by doing it. So go ahead and do it. Yeah, carry on.
So there are two questions which are very similar. Even though Yasa has answered it, I think I will take it up for everybody's sake. So people are asking that, and also AED machine, if they don't want to keep an AED machine, can institution officers stock any kind of medication to avoid this kind of situation or assist in a cardiac arrest situation? Can there be a replacement to having a AED machine and CPR,
What could be the reason for a replacement when there is actually a machine to have? I don't really understand that. Please don't think about this. If you're thinking about the money part, you think it's costly. इसीलिए मैंने पहले कहा था, if it's society, you've given a scenario of the office. देखिए अगर सोसाइटी में है तो you don't have to pay, right? So everybody, सब जमा करो पैसे और लेके आओ, करो. आप इंस्टीट्यूशन में रखते हो, आपके ऑफिस में रखते हो, ये अच्छी बात है. कोई alternate, by the way, इसका कोई alternative नहीं है. AED is the only thing. If you don't have an AED, you have to begin CCR. आप CCR कब तक करते रहोगे आपको नहीं पता है. देखिए आपको AED के बारे में एक चीज समझा देता हूँ. AED की जरूरत भी क्यों है ये समझ लीजिए. आप एक क्वेश्चन पूछा इसलिए बता देता हूँ. देखिए CCR जब करोगे आपको पता है हार्ट स्टॉप हो चुका है, तो आप कब तक करोगे यू डोंट नो, यू हैव नो आइडिया, बिकॉज आप करते रहोगे 100-200 एंड देयर विल बी रिप्लेसमेंट्स, पीपल डूइंग इट, बट यू डोंट नो व्हेन द हार्ट इज गोइंग टू रीस्टार्ट. बट इफ यू यूज द मशीन, क्या होता है, एक अगर हार्ट स्टॉप होता है ना, उसको रीस्टार्ट करने के लिए एक शॉक की जरूरत होती है. यू मस्ट हैव सीन इन द मूवीज आल्सो कि डॉक्टर लेके जाते हैं, एनालाइज करते हैं हार्ट रिदम और फिर शॉक एडवाइस करते हैं. तो शॉक के बाद क्या होता है, देयर इज अ किक स्टार्ट टू द हार्ट. The ideal situation is not for a person to keep do the compressions over and over on the person. The ideal situation is the person's heart works on its own, and that's why a shock is required to be delivered to that stopped heart. And the only way you can deliver that shock is by this machine. Okay, so it's very important that you have this machine only. There is no alternative. हमसे एक क्वेश्चन पूछा गया था डॉक्टर हेमा, हमसे एक इंसान ने पूछा था कि मान लीजिए हमारे पास AED मशीन नहीं है और हम पता है कि शॉक की जरूरत है, तो क्या हम ये वाला जो आपका तार है इलेक्ट्रिसिटी वाला जिससे आपका टीवी चलता है वो हम निकाल के उसके बॉडी में घुसा सकते हैं क्या? तो द आंसर टू दिस, अगर कोई सोच भी रहा है तो आंसर टू दिस इज नो, प्लीज डू नॉट डू दैट. द रीजन इज, जो आप तार घुसाओगे उसके अंदर, उसका यूनिट कितना है आपको नहीं पता है. While this machine is a measured machine, it understands how much shock needs to be delivered and whether it needs to be delivered also or not. Okay, so please, there is no alternative. Buy this machine.
And secondly, दवा तो आप दे नहीं सकते हो. The person is not responding, he's not breathing, he's totally unconscious. So there's no way that you can give any medication. Yes, for a heart attack, we would suggest कि aspirin एक थोड़ा सा पानी में आप dissolve करके दे सकते हो. For a heart attack situation, when the person is breathing, he's responding, till you are taking him to the hospital. But sudden cardiac arrest में आप कुछ orally तो दे ही नहीं सकते हो. The only thing you can do is CPR and use the AED machine. Right? Okay. Any more questions?
So, in fact, there were many questions which Dr. Yash has already answered. Okay. So, I've kind of copy-pasted them on the Facebook Live. Do we want to repeat it, or can people go and read it?
If you think one of the questions is like very important or has
I'll take up few interesting ones because they are very common. So, somebody's asked, how do we count the 100 compressions? Because you're tensed, and Dr. Yash has a very interesting answer to it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Dr. Yash is on voice rest, otherwise he would have sung it for us.
He would have done that. He would have actually sung the song. देखिए, चलो सॉन्ग तो डेफिनेटली है, उसका रिदम है देखिए, लेकिन मैं आपको एक अलग बात बता देता हूँ जो डॉक्टर यश ने नहीं लिखी है. देखिए, जब आप CPR करने शुरू करोगे तो आप वही पोजीशन में होगे जैसे आपने वीडियो में देखा. उस समय आप काउंट करते रहो, क्योंकि आपको नहीं पता चलेगा. वी आर सेइंग 100 to 120, आपको कैसे पता चलेगा आप 100 to 120 तक पहुंचे जब तक आप काउंट ही नहीं कर रहे हो. सो कीप काउंटिंग 1 2 3 4. There are two reasons for counting. Okay, the first reason is you need to know how much you've counted. So at one point of time the doctor is going to arrive. Remember, in step 2 you've called 108, so the ambulance is on the way. So the doctor is going to arrive and he's going to ask कि भाई साहब आपने अभी तक क्या किया. So you can confidently tell him, भाई डॉक्टर मैंने 60 तक compressions दिए हैं, अब आप देखो. Okay, then the doctor has a fairly decent idea कि आपने अब तक क्या किया, and he's going to take over. The second reason for doing this is, देखिए यूजुअली बोला जाता है 30 कंप्रेशंस 20 ब्रेथ्स, यानी 30 कंप्रेशंस एक हेल्दी अमाउंट ऑफ कंप्रेशन है एक इंसान को जिसने स्टार्ट किया है. आफ्टर 30 कंप्रेशंस आप थकने लगोगे, विच मीन्स आपका इफेक्टिवनेस ऑफ गिविंग सीसीआर इज गोइंग टू गो लो फ्रॉम दैट पॉइंट ऑन. तो 30 आपने काउंट कर लिया, उसी समय आप किसी और को बोलो चलो ना, फिर उसने 30 कर लिया, फिर वो आपको बोलेगा नाउ यू टेक ओवर. दैट वे हेल्दी कंप्रेशन रेट इज गोइंग ऑन एंड द पर्सन हैज a lot of chances of staying alive.
Yeah, yeah. Also, it was mentioned that 5 centimeter, you should go 5 centimeters when you're giving the compression. The question is, how do we really make out that's 5 centimeter?
देखिए ये सुमे, you want to answer that? Should I?
Actually हम लोग measure tape लेके तो नहीं चलने वाले हो, we are not going to know that. So approximately आपके judgments के हिसाब से करो कि इतना तक नीचे जाए. And as I said, जो हम practical session करते हैं वो बहुत ज़रूरी है कि आप आए हमारे हॉस्पिटल में and attend the second and third session and actually have the practical sessions on a mannequin कि आपको समझ में आएगा कितना compression आपको करना है, कितना deep करना है, how to do that. So that actually practically is the only way to do it, which you can understand. But yes, जितना आपको लगे कि इतना तो आपको नीचे जाना ही है. I'll just add one more thing here. When we say 5 centimeters, it is above the age of 18 to a full grown adult. Okay, मतलब कोई भी age तक 5 centimeters. From below 18 to about 8 years, it is 4 centimeters. And for an infant, we do it with 2 fingers. वो totally अलग procedure है. But I'm just telling you, okay, for infant, it is done with 2 fingers in the center of the chest. Between 8 years to 18 years, it's 4 centimeters down. And above 18 years, it is 5 centimeters down. So आप approximately करो. But don't look at the physique of a person. 5 centimeters to 5 centimeters आपको करना ही है. Okay? Yeah.
ऐसा नहीं है कि ब्रेथ आ गई तो आप करते रहो, नहीं मैंने तो सीपीआर सीखा है, मैं तो करके ही छोड़ूंगा. ऐसे भी नहीं करना. और जो पर्सन ब्रीथ कर रहा है उसके पर तो बिल्कुल भी मत करना. It's only supposed to be done on a person who's not breathing.
Very important.
You were saying.
Yeah, so if you're teaching somebody, go ahead and teach your friends and family members and all. But किसी को please मत बोलिए चलो लेटो मुझे CPR करना है. So CPR is not done on a person who is breathing. Very important.
Right.
Okay.
Doctor, go on.
So there is one related question also which says that how much shock should we give? How many times should we keep giving shocks?
भाई साहब आपको शॉक नहीं सोचना है आपको कितना देना है. This is not a decision you are supposed to be making. That decision is supposed to be made by the machine only. It will decide whether the shock needs to be given. आपको नहीं देना है, इंसान को डिसाइड नहीं कर. एंड बिसाइड्स आपने सोचा मेरे को इतना देना है तो भी मशीन आपको अलाउ नहीं करेगी, because the machine has been made by such a logic कि वो allow ही नहीं करेगी. If the rhythm of the heart is there, it's not going to allow you to give the shock anyways. Okay, it's a life saving machine, not a life taking machine.
तो ऐसा नहीं कि चलो मुझे 10 शॉक देना ही है, I'm not going to stop below that. आप नहीं डिसाइड कर सकते हो. Machine will decide how many shocks to be given. It will keep going into the cycle. आपको उसके prompt सुनने. So you are nobody to decide. Machine will decide how many shocks. You just keep listening to the instructions and follow what the machine says. Yeah. Any more?
Oh, I think pretty much the other ones have been taken up by Dr. Yash. So
there's so many questions. I the so fact that there were so many questions.
And there was a question: what's the difference between gas and heart attack? I think
then Dr. Yash answered.
Yash has answered that extensively.
I think ये आंसर का एक लाइन मैं शायद बोलना चाह रहा था उस समय. मैं अब आपने निकाला तो मैं बोल देता हूँ. एक छोटा सा डिफरेंस ये भी ध्यान रख लीजिएगा कि in a cardiac arrest the person is not breathing, and when it's gas the person would be breathing. ये है. बाकी Dr. Yash's answer.
And also I want to take up this one also. Is there an app to find the nearest AED available?
देखिए with Sumi go on.
Yeah, so I had put up a website there. You can go there and you can click on AEDs there. It shows you with the location, the address, wherever the AEDs are there. So आप अपने जगह wherever you are staying and wherever you're working, आप check कर सकते हो उसके आसपास कुछ AED है कि नहीं. You want me to put it up? I can do that once more so that people can just take a photograph or whatever.
Yes.
आप हमारे website में जा सकते हो. You can go there and just check. There is a page for the locations of the AEDs as well as the addresses. So you can get all the information there.
Dr. Hema, we also in our website have a menu called FAQ और
Yes.
जिन्होंने अभी जो क्वेश्चंस पूछे जिन्होंने नहीं भी पूछे हैं अगर वो FAQ में जाते हैं तो we made a like a good FAQ बहुत सारे common questions common answers हमने लिखे हुए हैं so they can go there and they can find out maybe वहाँ पे उनको और जानकारी मिल सकती है. So
I will post your FAQ link as in a website
Sure,
link
yeah.
on the Facebook also, so that
Sure.
people can.
You can post the AD link as well from our
Sure.
website.
Yeah, I did that.
So we are here to train you all today. Whatever we've taught you, this is a life-saving skill. छोटी सी चीज है. It's not very difficult. Simply recognizing a cardiac arrest, doing CPR. They are small things, but they are life-saving skills. So जो आपने सीखा है, please help us to spread this knowledge. Contact us for more training sessions. भले college हो, corporates हो, residential societies हो. For anything you can contact us. We do this training completely free of cost. And webinar है तो it's now in this pandemic, take the most advantage of it. घर बैठे बैठे आपको ये life saving skill मिल रहा है. Contact us for free training sessions in case you all want to put ADs in the societies. As we told you, we do not sell, but yes, we could help you all to get the AD. Help us in whatever way you can. Please go ahead and help us to spread this awareness, because our only initiative here is to save lives. Yeah.
And we
Dr.
will
Hema,
all
yes.
look forward to the next martial trainings. Any idea when that is going to begin, or how is that going to be?
See, right now our hospital is full of being used for COVID patients, so it's unsafe for us to have any kind of training sessions there. So we hope that जैसे ये थोड़ा सा graph नीचे चला जाए and the hospital opens up for allowing us to have training sessions there, we definitely want to start doing our heart martial training sessions.
Yeah.
So let's just pray for this pandemic to end soon. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we are not able to conduct it because of the COVID situation. The moment it's like it dies down, it gets over, we're going to start doing that again. In the meanwhile, what your audience can do, Dr. Hema, is they can get their names registered with Sumaiya, and then we can keep that in a list. And the moment it begins, we'll call them, and then we can do it.
So, do you have a registration link or something?
So,
Yes.
yeah, I'll send you a number.
Yeah.
I'll send you a number which you can post on the
Group.
on your
Yeah.
Facebook page, so that they can just call there or they can message there and just register for attending the heart martial trainings.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for regular trainings, we have a link, by the way. Sumaiya,
Okay, that's great.
It's in our website, so.
Yeah, so that anyway we put it in our website. They can go there and register.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is the number. You can post this on your Facebook link, so that you can either WhatsApp on this number and say that you want to be registered as heart marshals. We have a list of all those who are already waiting for this session.
Yeah.
So जैसे pandemic हो जाए, our hospital opens up for allowing us to bring outsiders inside, we'll definitely start with this heart marshal training.
Yeah. And the people who heard today, like for example, the people who are here with us today, अगर उनको ऐसा लगा कि ये वाली जो information और knowledge है, उनके friends को भी मिलनी चाहिए, उनके family members को भी मिलनी चाहिए. So then for that, they can go on to the link that we have in our website and they can register their names and they can ask them to register their names and we'll call them. So we can have a session for them also. Our motto is
okay. We have Akhil asking whom to contact.
So I've posted it there. You can call on the above number, and we help you on this.
So I put the number on the Facebook Live as well. So people who want more information can call that number. Also, you can register on that number for the heart martial training, which is coming out. Thank you so much. This was very, very informative for all of us. Yes, a lot of people are saying a big thank you to Sumaiya, Anand, and Dr. Yash for facilitating this training. It means a lot. Thank you so much.
It means a lot to us also. We were so honored. Thank you, Dr. Hema. We felt very nice to be here and to talk to your audience. And it's a happy thing to know that everybody is getting to know, to understand this, and they're registering for being a heart marshal. How good this is for the country.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Hema. You attended our session before and you have organized this. So
it was
really
a lovely session. I could not organize this session. And people are watching it live. Thank you for coming live today. And people who will watch the replay of this, please reach out to the team if you have questions. Don't sit back with your questions because you will be watching a replay of this, I'm sure. And I just want to add here, are the country laws for India and abroad the same? And I'm bringing this up because the channel also have viewership from out of India. So you mentioned about a good Samaritan. I'm sorry, it's a
Good Samaritan law.
Good Samaritan law.
So
Good
is
Samaritan
that
law.
the same outside India as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
I mean,
yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it
Okay.
is.
Okay, so that's
In
great.
fact, people in our country are not aware of it. Outside, they are very much aware of about this law. In our country, we actually emphasize to people, telling them that this law exists. People don't
Okay,
know
great,
about this.
great, great. So thank you so much. We like to close the session here for all those people who are new on the channel. The channel is called LoseUrBlues, and it is for educating all of you on life skills. And our real life heroes today are the iCARE project team. Yes, all three of them: Sumaiya, Anand, Yash, Dr. Yash, and everybody else behind the scenes. And I am Dr. Hima Bajaj. I am a homeopath. And yes, I will see you live again next Saturday, same place. Of course, a little different time, but yes, the same place. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Yash, for
Stay
joining
safe,
us. Thank you,
everyone.
Dr. Hema. And thank you, everybody. You've been a lovely audience. Thank you. Stay safe. And please help us to spread this awareness. Thank you. Good evening.
Bye, Dr.
Good
Yash.
evening.
Bye, Dr.